866-594-4150. Got some calls coming in. Anything breaking that is super important?
Cars are always breaking. Yeah, no.
Always breaking.
I was just telling you guys a story. Last night I was flying back from Louisville. Got to make sure I said that right. Louisville. It's like you have marbles in your mouth. They said Louisville. Kentucky. And my flight from Louisville to Minneapolis was perfect. But I got to Minneapolis. I had about a 45-minute layover. I thought I'd catch the end of the Timberwolves game, which I was able to catch most of it. And then boarded the plane at 9:14 p.m. in Minneapolis. And we left Minneapolis, never left the plane. We did have the option, but I was sitting next to a guy that I got talking to that was just such a wonderful conversation. We both sat there and chatted. 12:10 a.m. When we moved. Landed in Sioux Falls just after 1 a.m. And that made for a late night. And so, but the plane had something broken. The pilot was very good about giving information.
Forthcoming.
He said, we've got a problem and we are going to put a different part on it and it should fix the problem. And then about 30 minutes later, he came on, he goes, well, we put the part on and it didn't fix the problem. And we're awaiting information. And I'm paraphrasing, and he came back on again. He goes, well, the crew on the ground here thinks that they can salvage a part from another plane over in the G concourse. And it's going to take about 45 minutes to get that. And they're pretty confident it'll take care of the issue. And I don't know if he had comforted the passengers or not. The gentleman I was sitting next to is very automotive, super neat guy. And him and I looked at each other. They know it works on the other plane.
Right. Hey.
But I just hope somebody puts a lockout tag out.
And you want to say what you say on the show. It worked fine up until the accident, but you don't say that on an airplane.
No. But I'm just thinking, I bet do they have like lockout tag out? I'm sure like we do. Yeah. Just put it on the handlebars or on the control, what do you call the yoke or whatever?
It's been nuts lately. I didn't tell you guys when we got in late when we had the thing last week. I forgot to tell you about the part where when we landed, we taxied and we stopped by the gates like you normally do. You wait, and then you pull into a gate. Well, he throttled up to pull into the gate, and we didn't go anywhere. We just leaned to the left, and I looked at my wife and said, that's not right. And then he tried it again, and I said, the left brakes are stuck. We weren't going anywhere, and he says, passengers up. We got a weird situation here. We're not moving. Maybe give me a minute. I'm going to call them to come drag us in. And they did. They sent a really big tug for a big plane, and they drug us in. And when we got there, the pilot was standing on the jet bridge, looking down. And he's like, "Where's the brake rotor?" One of the brake rotors had just came apart.
Like short track racing.
I'm like, are you kidding me? We're seeing a lot more of this. They used to not tell us. Maybe it's just they're transparent.
Yeah, and people are videoing.
And I was just on the heels of part of my trip to Louisville was we stopped in.
Oh, this is horrible to laugh at, but.
No, we stopped in at our member for the trade association, Sean Garber's place, Grade A, that was directly impacted by the UPS cargo plane that crashed.
So when I say laughing, it's like this is ironic that you're on a plane, you're worried about safety, and you're going to this to see.
And so we have these things in
make us feel better.
In our mind, and that was such a horrible situation because they lost 3 employees and 8 customers that were at their business when that plane went down.
At an auto recycler like us.
Yes, a facility, and he's a very good operator. He had a scrap division, and he had just sold his full-service division to a consolidator in August, and all that property was affected. We brought him a check from the executive leadership of our trade association to put into the fund for the families, and we wanted to give it to him directly and avoid some of the extra fees from the GoFundMe account, which is great. I mean, it's a great vehicle to do those things, but it was a sizable amount of money, and we wanted to bring it down and give it to them in person so they could directly deposit it since we were going to be there for some other business also. And he showed us a picture on his phone of where the landing gear from the plane was on their office area. It it thank goodness came down kind of towards the end of their day, or it would have been even a worse tragedy. And so we had that in our mind, and it was very good to be able to just step in and offer some words of support. We grabbed him and his son, and we just said a prayer together, and they're talking about going to viewings and having funeral plans. I mean, life can change in a hurry. And so, sorry, I took that a different direction, but yeah, I'm on the heels of that on my head as they're talking about.
Well, it's what we do. It's auto recycling is our business every day. We've got it here. I mean, this is real stuff. And
yeah. And so when they're talking about switching parts on the plane, and you're like, okay, all right, God, you got my parachute, I hope.
Yeah.